Hey guys, welcome back to the Northeast Florida Surf Fishing Forecast. This video was shot Monday afternoon in Jack's Beach near the pier. We had east-southeast winds and the water actually got better as the day went on. Monday morning in Ponte Vedra when I was there, it was complete mud, but the east-southeast wind cleaned it up. And no seaweed at all, and that's great news, and hopefully it stays that way, but we will find out because of the wind forecast coming up. If there is seaweed to the south of Jacksonville, we may be seeing quite a bit of it coming. But we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about hopefully what you can catch this week. So guys, we'll get right down to business this week. Tuesday, they're calling for southwest winds in the morning, 5 to 10. South-southwest, switching over to the southeast Tuesday afternoon, 15 to 20. And on Wednesday, an exact repeat. And then on Thursday, an exact repeat of the same winds, except Thursday they're calling for a little bit lighter southeast winds, 10 to 12. But that's a lot of south wind, and I would not be shocked if the water in the next few days is just complete mud in the Jack's Beach area. We hope not. Hopefully we get more east-southeast wind like we did Monday afternoon. But if not, you know the drill. Huguenot, Little Talbot, Amelia Island. Get north of the inlet and you'll find better water, at least usually. The water temperatures right now from Flagler to Fernandina, if this is correct, I had to check it a few different times, but it's 74 degrees across the board. So I think we're gonna see quite a bit of a warm up in the next 2 weeks. I wouldn't be shocked in 2 weeks if we see the water temps around 77, 78, because we're gonna have high in the 90s, you know, those 90-degree temperature days, and a lot of south wind that tends to warm it up. As far as seaweed goes, Sunday afternoon, there's a ton of seaweed in South Ponte Vedra Beach. I was in North Ponte Vedra Beach Monday afternoon or Monday morning working, no seaweed at all. But we know it's still out there. There's still clumps of it. I'm hoping it's already all on the beach south of us, but if not, with this south wind, we will start to probably see it show up in northern Ponte Vedra, Jack's Beach, and further north. But let's knock on wood and hope that it's over with. The fish that are biting right now, Monday afternoon, I got a few reports, a few whiting, scattered pompano, spots, croaker. There are quite a few big sharks being caught right now in the surf, a couple of 5-footers. In fact, Monday morning we saw one in the surf swimming, 4 to 5 foot, looked like a black tip. Not sure what they were chasing, didn't see any mullet, so they were obviously looking for some probably nice speckled trout or something. Speaking of trout, there are trout in the surf. If you can get out there early in the morning along the beaches, throw a top water. I will say you need it pretty calm to do that. The last week, it's been impossible to throw any type of lure. We've had, 3 to 5 foot surf, and we still have somewhat of a small groundswell coming in. And the tides right now, you got a high tide in the morning and then a low tide middle of the day. Speaking of tides, if you check them out at the end of this video, look at the low tides and what numbers are at, negative 0.8, negative 0.9, negative 1. We have some serious low tides right now, guys. In fact, Monday, the low tide was at 1, and I checked it out at the beach, and it was about as low as I've seen it in months. Really low, and it was interesting. And if you haven't fished the beach a lot, or if you're new to surf fishing, with these negative low tides, so what you have to remember is, so areas where you normally fish, say 2 hours before the outgoing, or 2 hours before dead low tide, you need to get there sooner, because high tide was like 7 Monday morning. By 10 o'clock, that tide was out to where a normal low tide was in Jack's Beach just about. And it just continues to get lower and lower. It exposes a lot of beach, and what it does is really exposes all the sandbars, but the problem is it creates those sandbars that are close to the beach, they become too shallow. And a lot of those fish go out into the deeper water that's harder to reach. So if you want to fish the low outgoing tide, I'd say get there 4 hours before low tide. And what you'll notice with these negative lows is So you have a dead low at 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock, it's not going to look like that tide has moved much, or at least that's how it was today. But by 3 o'clock, it comes rushing back in with a vengeance. So things to keep in mind. We talked about this a lot in the winter when we were catching the whiting on the negative low tides. Honestly, get there 4 hours before the low tide. And if you can't, what I did is a few times I'd said, let me go ahead and try on the dead low on the negatives. Bad idea, just too shallow. And so what I did, well, here, normally I fish the last 2 hours of the outgoing, first 2 hours of the incoming in Ponte Vedra. So for the negative low, I was fishing 4 hours before low, leaving 2 hours before low, and then coming back 2 hours after the incoming tide was coming in. Because then it was finally, water was coming over the bar and it was actually full of whiting. But if I fished in that time frame that I normally fish, very few bites, guys. So I'm not a scientist and I'm not a marine biologist, and I don't know all the scientific terms and all of that, but I can just tell you from experience, this is what I've seen. And in January and February, when I was loading the cooler full of whiting on these negative low tides, that's what I found that worked. 4 hours before, 2 hours after the turn of the tide. So there are also some black drum. I did see a few good pictures of black drum in the Jack's Beach area, North Jack's Beach, just using dead shrimp, fishing a run out. A few sheephead have come up, not many. A few blues, few ladyfish. Haven't seen any reports of Spanish in the last week. They still got to be there. The water's 74, so they should still be there. Imagine any day we'll start to see the mullet show up, as well as the pogies, and then we'll see tarpon, jacks, and kings along the beach. Just keep in mind, as the water warms up, the pompano are gonna really get out of here. I talked to a buddy that lives in North Carolina. He said they're crushing the big pompano right now. So those big pompano that were just here in Northeast Florida probably weeks ago are now up in North Carolina. So we better hope there's another school somewhere that's coming this way. If not, we'll catch the stragglers throughout the summer, and then in the fall, they'll return and they'll be much fatter. As far as sand fleas, plenty of sand fleas in Jack's Beach. High outgoing tide is the easiest time to find them right now. Get there early because, like I said, with this negative low, those sand fleas, they retreat in a hurry and get out fast. Still some cannonball jellies, still spider crabs. If you don't know, those pompano actually eat the spider crabs too, as well as the whiting. A few months ago, I saw some big whiting caught on the spider crabs with people just experimenting. So they're there. But that's all I got, guys. We're hoping for a change, something to change. Let's get some northeast wind, and that's not over 20 miles an hour, and some cloudy days. These bluebird sky days with a high pressure and dirty water don't make it fun for us surf fishermen. And when it's dirty like that, like I said, find the clean water and you'll likely find some fish. With that being said, we'll try to get a report Tuesday afternoon of the water. So if anybody's fishing Wednesday, you know what it's looking like. And let's hope no seaweed shows up. Oh, almost forgot. Got to send a big thank you out to Chip, the sinker guy, for helping with the seminar this past Saturday. And thank you to everyone who showed up. From the last count I got, it was over 75. So that's great. Hopefully we helped everyone out. And we're trying to make this a once a month thing. So in order not to be redundant and just repeating the same thing over, send us your questions of things we didn't cover. That way, if we have another one in June, we can cover it. There's always stuff we can talk about in fishing. So one month we may talk about rods, the reels, the line we use, stuff that people who are getting into it don't know yet. And what I will say is experience trumps everything else, guys. We're helping you to know what tackle, what baits to use, what tides to fish. But your experience is what's really going to help you catch more fish. The more you go, the more you learn. Like when I was growing up, I would watch fishing videos, read fishing books. But you know what made me catch more fish? Actually getting out there and learning it myself and taking what I learned and applying it. Experience, experience, experience. If I'm wrong, let me know, but to me, experience trumps everything else. So we look forward to the questions. Thank you for coming to the seminar, everyone who came. And then we'll do another one. Let us know if you're interested. Until next time, tight lines.